Introduction. You likely saw the title of this book and thought to yourself, what exactly is the Purposeful Planning Method, and can it help me? The Purposeful Planning Method is the most effective approach for planning and prioritizing your time, and I'm 100% positive it can help you. Unlike other time management books offering anecdotal tips, tricks, and suggestions, this book provides a specific methodology for approaching your day more effectively. It will help you, 1, take more action towards your goals, 2, create better habits, 3, pursue your passions more, 4, enrich your relationships, 5, regain control of your time, 6, enjoy your leisure time more, 7, beat procrastination. It can even help you live a more meaningful and happy life by ensuring you approach each day with clarity and focus, regardless of what you're attempting to achieve. This method can help. It will help you accomplish your day-to-day responsibilities while simultaneously growing and improving any area of life you choose, including your career or business, health and fitness, meditative and spiritual practice, and even your relationships with your friends, family, and spouse or significant other. Not only can it help you achieve anything, it's most effective when used across all disciplines in your life. When I stumbled onto this method, I was working for a high-growth tech company, and I was paid well, but I knew I could accomplish so much more with my life. It was difficult waking up every morning knowing I would spend my entire day working on unfulfilling projects that left me uninspired and stressed out. I wanted to own my own business, but the worst part was after spending all day working, I was often too tired when I came home to work on my business and other things I wanted to be doing. I was miserable and it was taking a toll on me. In my gut, I knew this wasn't how I wanted to be spending each day. I wanted to thrive in every area of my life. I craved to fill my days with impactful work I loved while working on my own business. I wanted ample time for exercise and movement throughout the day. I wanted to fill my days with abundant time for meditative thought, reflection, and leisure time. And I wanted to experience meaningful interactions with my family while also having lots of inspiring conversations with mentors and friends. I wanted to have dedicated time for exploring and learning new concepts, information, languages, and ideas. In addition to, I really wanted dedicated time each day for cultivating an incredible marriage with my wife. Unfortunately, after working all day at a job I didn't like, I had little time to focus on the things I really wanted to do. I didn't know how to effectively plan my day to both accomplish what needed done at work and also find time for everything else I wanted to be doing, like starting a business and exercising each day. On top of that, I was scared. I was scared to leave the security of a well-paying job. If I started a company of my own and didn't succeed, I would feel like a failure, especially if I couldn't provide as a husband. I was facing a ton of self-doubt about my ability to achieve my goals. I remember thinking to myself, if I can't even plan my day, how could I ever run a business of my own successfully? That's when I decided to learn everything I could about effectively planning my time so I could start achieving my goals and eventually leave my job to begin a business of my own. To do this, I looked at research, read, and listened to audiobooks about time management, goal setting and achievement, habit development, workflow management, flow states, deep work, and everything I could get my hands on about productivity. I was determined to find a method for planning my day that would transform my life. The problem was, I didn't find the books to be that transformative. They buried a lot of insightful ideas and tips in non-actionable theories, unnecessary and inapplicable stories, and overly complicated practices. Uncovering the insight was a challenge. That's when I had a mini epiphany. I realized in addition to reading these books, I needed to also study how the most successful people planned and approached their day. I decided to read the writings, biographies, and autobiographies of the world's most successful people. Chapter 1: Why you should read this book. Here is a test to find whether your mission on earth is finished. If you are alive, it isn't. That's a quote from Richard Bach. Chances are we've never met, but because you picked out this book, I can almost guarantee you are self-driven, aspirational, and looking to achieve goals across many areas of your life. You may also be frustrated and feel like you should be achieving more each day. If that's the case, I applaud you for recognizing the opportunity for self-improvement and taking action by reading this book. The Purposeful Planning Method will be perfect for you. I'm an avid reader and listener of nonfiction books. I particularly love the classics. I always find it incredible how simple their core message is, especially considering the complex topics they cover. You can summarize most of these classics in a single sentence. For example, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie has sold over 15 million copies. The one sentence summary of this book: stop talking about yourself. Instead, be genuinely interested in other people by listening and asking thoughtful questions. That's really good advice. The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey has sold over 5 million copies and continues to sell over 400,000 copies a year. Summarized in a sentence: the best way to build wealth is to get out of debt and invest your money. Again, solid advice. But neither of these concepts is revolutionary or sophisticated in any way. On the contrary, they're very simple. Their simplicity and common sense approach are two reasons their message resonates with so many people, and it has for so long. Similarly, this book's message is simple and easily summarized. Here it is. Planning and prioritizing helps you spend more time on the projects, activities, and relationships that are most important and meaningful to you. Of course, that's something you likely already knew, so why continue reading this? Although the concept of planning your time is simple with obvious benefits, actually doing it isn't. Just like getting out of debt and investing your money makes sense financially, but can be very difficult to do in practice. And just like asking great questions instead of talking about ourselves is excellent advice, but challenging to do. The point is, this book isn't designed to convince you how important it is to plan your day. You already know planning is critical to your success, or you wouldn't have chosen to read a book titled The Purposeful Planning Method. This book is vital to your success because it provides a methodology to ensure you successfully plan and approach each day with clarity, purpose, and focus. Imagine how it would feel to begin each morning with a clear plan for achieving your most important priorities, and with a sense of calm knowing you have time to do everything meaningful to you. How would it feel to develop habits and routines that support your dreams? How would it feel to have plenty of time to pursue your passions and to have plenty of time to nurture the critical relationships in your life? How would it feel if you felt zero guilt when relaxing and enjoying your leisure activities? And how would it feel if you never had to worry about procrastinating again? What if you had ample time to reach your peak level of health and fitness? What if you could spend as much time as you wanted each day on your meditative and spiritual practice? What if you always felt present when spending time with your family and friends? And what if you had plenty of time to enrich your marriage each day? What if you were achieving your goals in all aspects of your life? Most people who read this book are thriving in one area of their life. The problem is that most are falling short of their potential in other areas. For example, you may be excelling in your career, but your health and fitness has suffered. Or maybe it's the opposite. You're thriving with your health and fitness, but your career isn't as successful as you know it could be. This book and the Purposeful Planning Method will provide a way for you to thrive in every area of your life, including career and business, relationships, family, social, finances, spiritual, health and fitness. Any area of your life, you can use the Purposeful Planning Method to excel. Chapter recap. This book provides a methodology to ensure you successfully plan and approach each day with clarity, purpose, and focus. It will teach you exactly how to plan and prioritize so you can spend more time on the things that are most important and meaningful to you. Chapter 2. What is the Purposeful Planning Method? It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. William Shakespeare. The Purposeful Planning Method is a specific approach for planning your time. It ensures two things. First, you plan and take action on your most important priorities and tasks each day. And two, each morning and evening is structured to be as productive and meaningful as possible. The foundation of the Purposeful Planning Method is developing a clear vision for what you want to achieve each day and then scheduling time to do it. I'll use the word foundation throughout this book, so let's clarify its meaning. Foundation is the load-bearing part of a building, typically below ground level. A building's foundation performs several functions. The three most important: one, it bears the load and distributes the weight of the building. Two, it anchors it against natural forces such as wind and rain. And three, it protects it from ground moisture. Engineering the foundation of a building properly during the initial construction ensures the stability and functionality for the building's entire lifespan. Similar to how a properly engineered foundation ensures a building success, the Purposeful Planning Method will create a foundation for your day. And this foundation will help you, one, bear the load of your professional and personal daily responsibilities. Two, anchor you to your most important long-term goals. And three, protect your time against unnecessary tasks so you can pursue what's most important to you. The Purposeful Planning Method uses two layers for scheduling your time: the fluid layer and the habit layer. The fluid layer helps you plan and take action on your most important priorities and tasks. The definition of fluid is able to flow smoothly. This layer is aptly named because it ensures transitioning effortlessly throughout your day from one activity to the next. The fluid layer changes daily based on your priorities for the day. Priorities are simply areas of your life that are important and meaningful to you. Priorities are usually projects you're focusing on at work or home, activities you want to do, or relationships you want to nurture. You achieve your priorities by completing tasks associated with them. For example, one of my priorities may be to prepare for a client meeting tomorrow. A task associated with it could be to review notes from previous conversations with the client. After we learn how to prioritize our time using the fluid layer, we'll discover how the habit layer ensures each day is structured to be as productive and meaningful as possible. You'll embrace your best habits and create new routines using your habit layer. It ensures you spend each morning and evening intentionally. We'll learn much more about creating your fluid and habit layers in the upcoming chapters. At this point, people often ask, Matt, are there any shortcuts I can use? Creating two layers when planning my day seems complicated. I understand this may seem overwhelming, especially if you struggled with planning in the past, believe you lack the time necessary for planning your day, worry this may be too complicated or advanced for you, maybe you doubt it will work with your complex schedule, or maybe you just have concerns that it will reduce your amount of free time. Don't worry, anyone can successfully adopt this approach, including people who have been unsuccessful in planning in the past, feel like they don't have time for planning, initially believed it was too complex. Even those who have complicated and non-traditional work schedules can do this, and people who want flexibility and ample free time in their schedule can definitely use this approach. I teach this method because I know it can work for anyone. I wish there was a way for you to achieve your biggest goals effortlessly and with zero planning. But the truth is, it requires both planning and effort to operate at your peak level each day. However, don't let that stop you from adopting this method. Using the Purposeful Planning Method will take about 7 minutes of your time each day. And trust me, it's worth it. After starting to use this approach for planning, I felt like I could accomplish anything I wanted in any area of my life. However, let me be clear, I'm not the most successful or even the most productive person in the world. So why was I compelled to create and share this method and this book? I'm 40 years old and I just now feel like I'm beginning to tap into my full potential. When I finally adopted the Purposeful Planning Method, progress towards my goals accelerated at a rate that would have been impossible to imagine before using it. I began to feel like I had a superpower for planning and executing my day. After testing and refining this approach on my own for about a year, I started introducing it to clients to help validate its effectiveness. I wanted to see if it could help other people as much as it did me. And after seeing client after client transform their life by successfully using it, I felt a sense of obligation to write this book and to share this method with as many people as possible. Only sharing it with clients in one-on-one coaching sessions was limiting the number of people who could benefit from it. I firmly believe having as many people as possible who are spending their energy and time toward the projects, activities, and relationships most important to them only makes the world a better place. According to research by Psychology Today, progress on our goals leads to more positive emotions and more satisfaction with life. It increases our well-being. In turn, positive emotions contribute to our motivation to act. Put simply, people progressing towards their goals are happier people, more fulfilled, and more likely to continue striving toward their goals. Why would we not want more people, or as many people as possible, progressing towards their ambitions? That's why I want to share this information in a more scalable way than one-on-one coaching, because I know it will help anyone who uses it live a happier, more fulfilling life. As I watch so many people create success in their life with this approach, I began feeling a very strong moral obligation to share this method with as many people as possible. Quick side note here, if you know someone who could benefit from this information, the information in this book, but they can't afford the book, email me and I'll get them a copy of this, no problem. Okay, onward. I mentioned previously, I'm not the most productive or successful person in the world. I'm still working towards achieving my goals every day. I'm hungry. I'm working hard. However, by using this method, I have been able to create a thriving coaching and consulting business built around serving amazing and aspirational clients. I've been able to cultivate an incredible relationship and marriage with my wife, Rachel. I've been able to discover new places and cultures while traveling extensively. I've been able to create daily habits that support my body, mind, and well-being. I've been able to easily find time for doing deep work and urgent work. I host 2 popular podcasts. I feel extremely present while spending leisure time with family and friends. And I'm able to approach my work with clarity and joy each day. The Purposeful Planning Method has been vital in helping me plan my time and pursue my goals, and I'm 100% confident it can help you plan your time more effectively and help you live each day with greater clarity and purpose. After all, the reason for planning and prioritizing your time is not to just do more stuff each day for the sake of doing more stuff. It's the opposite. The purpose of planning is to identify what's most important and meaningful to you so you can use your time and energy effectively. I've refined the Purposeful Planning Method while collaborating with high achievers from all over the world. It was developed through trial and error, and although I believe the Purposeful Planning Method to be the most effective approach for planning your day, everything in this book is meant to be tested by you. I'm not promising each day of your life will be perfect after adopting this approach. My promise is that if you adopt this method, it will help you plan and take action on your most important priorities each day, and your mornings and evenings will be structured to be as meaningful and productive as possible. Chapter recap. The Purposeful Planning Method is a specific approach for scheduling your time. It ensures 1, you plan and take purposeful action on your most important priorities and tasks each day, and 2, each morning and evening is structured to be as productive and meaningful as possible. This method uses 2 layers for planning your time, the fluid layer and the habit layer. The purpose of planning these layers is to identify what's most important to you so you can schedule how you want to use your time and energy each day. Anyone can use this method, even people who have struggled with planning in the past. Chapter 3. Why does this method work so effectively? The greatest happiness is to transform one's feelings into action. Madame de Staël. The Purposeful Planning Method relies on 2 time-tested and straightforward concepts to ensure you plan each day effectively. First, prioritizing what you want to focus on each day is critical to your success. And 2, embracing positive habits into your daily routine is the most effective way to ensure you achieve what you want. These 2 concepts are the backbone of everything we'll discuss in this book. Let's touch on why each is so important. Prioritizing is critical to our success because it helps ensure we intentionally focus on our most important projects, activities, and relationships throughout the day. Having clarity about our priorities is one way to ensure we're thoughtful and effective with our time. Behavioral scientists suggest our habits consume 40% of our day. This means being intentional about our habits can help ensure we use our time as purposefully, meaningfully, and productively as possible. Of course, you didn't need to read this book to learn how prioritizing your time and creating good habits will help you be more productive. Although we know each of these is critical to our success, it can be a challenge to actually do them. And that's why this book is vital to your success. It provides a method to follow each morning to ensure you start each day with clear priorities and intentional habits. I mentioned earlier the intent of this book isn't to convince you how important it is to plan your day. After all, you already chose to read a book titled The Purposeful Planning Method. This means you recognize planning is essential to your success. However, as you adopt this method, you may still interact with colleagues, friends, and family members who might try to minimize how necessary planning is. Be cautious about accepting advice from these people. If you encounter anyone who downplays the importance of planning, consider the level of success they have attained in their life before taking their advice. The truth is, planning and prioritizing is key for anyone who is looking to maximize their potential. I strongly encourage you to speak with as many successful people as you can to discover how they plan their time. Connecting with these high performers, these high achievers, will only reinforce how critical planning and prioritizing is to your success. Most people reading this book already understand how planning can help them be more productive at work, and it can definitely do that, but its benefits reach far beyond work. Remember, the purpose of using this method is not to do more stuff just for the sake of doing more. It's the opposite. The aim is to help you identify what's most important to you each day so you can plan how you want to use your time and your energy. Beyond work, use this method to reach your peak level of health and fitness, dedicate more time to your meditative and spiritual practice, get out of debt and create financial abundance in your life, spend more time and be more present with your family, nurture valuable relationships and friendships, relax and enjoy your leisure time more, and have a thriving marriage or relationship. Or use it for any activity you choose to focus on. There are 0 limitations. This method uses a proven scheduling technique called time blocking. Time blocking allows you to proactively assign blocks of time to complete tasks throughout the day. The world's most successful people have practiced time blocking for centuries. Ben Franklin, an entrepreneur, author, and signer of both the Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution, used a block schedule to structure his day. Franklin shared his block schedule in his autobiography and said, "Every part of my business should have its allotted time." You can view Franklin's block schedule in image number 1. Listeners can find this in the accompanying PDF within the Audible app, or you can easily find these examples online on my website at www.matt-east.com/book. You can see all these images there. In addition to using the proven practice of time blocking, the Purposeful Planning Method leverages habit creation and routine development to perform at your peak. By embracing these techniques, you'll be using the same daily practices as the most successful people in the history of the world. Examples include Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin and a self-made billionaire, provides a great example of time blocking. Branson blocks time on his calendar to ensure he exercises daily. He says, "I play a very hard game of singles tennis every morning at 6 a.m. The media icon and philanthropist Oprah follows the same daily routine upon waking. First thing in the morning, I brush my teeth and take the dogs out," she says. Then she completes a series of spiritual exercises that I do every day. Then I meditate. According to Walter Isaacson, author of the biography Steve Jobs, he says Steve had an evening routine where he would come home and sit at a nice long wooden table in the kitchen of his house in Palo Alto to eat dinner every night with his kids and his great wife. In the book, The Open Road, The Global Journey of the 14th Dalai Lama, the author shares, by 9 a.m., the Dalai Lama himself had already been up for more than 5 hours, awakening as he always does at 3:30 a.m. to spend his first 4 hours of the day meditating. Other successful people known for relying on their daily routines to create an extraordinary body of work include best-selling authors Maya Angelou, Haruki Murakami, Kurt Vonnegut, Ernest Hemingway, E.B. White, and Stephen King. They're all known for their commitment to their routines. Stephen King famously writes every day of the year, without exception, beginning work between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Championship athletes Usain Bolt, Messi, Michael Jordan, Novak Djokovic, Carly Lloyd, and Tom Brady all use or were known for using their game day rituals and daily habits to perform at their peak. In his book, Brady shares the following: to create stronger, faster connections in our brains, we need to practice a habit, skill, or behavior again and again. The more we practice that habit, skill, or behavior, the more automatically our brains recognize it. Beethoven, one of the greatest composers of all time, and Pablo Picasso, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, were both recognized for their commitment to process and routine to ensure their creativity. Picasso said, "Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success." I particularly love this quote because there is a misconception that creative disciplines don't require structure and planning. However, in most cases, you'll find the world's greatest creators are reliant on habits and routines during their most prolific periods. Nelson Mandela, a beloved political leader and former president of South Africa, was well known for his commitment to his daily workout throughout his life. In his autobiography, Nelson says, "I attended the gym for 1.5 hours each evening from Monday through Thursday. We did an hour of exercise, some combination of road work, skipping rope, calisthenics, or shadow boxing, followed by 15 minutes of body work, some weightlifting, and then sparring." These are just a few examples of extraordinary people who use routines and habits to achieve great things. The Purposeful Planning Method doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It leverages the exact principles these leaders use to achieve incredible results. If there is a well-known person whose work you admire, I would really encourage you to learn more about their habits and their daily routine. A simple Google search will typically do the trick. I also asked clients for their feedback about why the Purposeful Planning Method works so effectively, and here is some of the feedback I received from them. "I love planning this way because it ensures I'm proactive instead of reactive with my time. It ensures I take action on what's most important to me." That's from Elise. "I've noticed by having a clear plan of attack for my day, I feel less overwhelmed. I have a plan for my day, but I also have a plan for when unexpected things pop up throughout the day. I feel in complete control of my time." That's from Micah. "Using this method has completely ended my tendency to procrastinate. Beginning my day with a plan and clarity about what I'm focusing on makes it much easier to take action throughout the day." To Bias, This approach has allowed me to do activities around my energy pattern. This helps me align my peak energy with my daily writing and allows me to write more each day. That's from David. Prioritizing leisure and time with my family has been a game changer for me. I feel much more connected with my family, zero guilt when relaxing, and I'm no longer burned out on my business. That's from Andrea. In the following chapters, you will learn exactly how to use the purposeful planning method. As you reflect on your schedule, I encourage you to approach it as a self-experiment. You will see positive results immediately after adopting this method, and you can use the 10-day challenge later in this book as a guide to get started. But I just want to say, enjoy the daily planning process. Designing how you will spend your time each day should be a rewarding and pleasant experience. Embrace it and remove any pressure you've put on yourself. We're going to be striving for progress, not for perfection along the way, and particularly as we get started, as we begin. Remember, there is zero downside to planning your time more effectively, but the benefits are endless. So stick with this. It will positively impact every aspect of your life. And remember, anyone can successfully use this method. Chapter recap. The purposeful planning method relies on two time-tested and straightforward concepts to ensure you plan each day effectively. First, prioritizing what you want to focus on each day is critical to your success. And two, embracing positive habits into your daily routine is the most effective way to ensure you achieve what you want. Prioritizing is essential to our success because it ensures we intentionally focus on our most important projects, activities, and relationships throughout the day. Being intentional about our habits ensures we use our time as purposefully, meaningfully, and productively as possible. The purposeful planning method leverages the same principles used by the most accomplished and successful people to ever live. Chapter 4, The Fluid Layer. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Mary Oliver. As I mentioned earlier, the purposeful planning method uses two layers for planning your day. One, the fluid layer, and two, the habit layer. The fluid layer ensures we plan and schedule time for our most important priorities and tasks each day. It helps us determine what to focus on before the day begins. Remember, the ideas in this book build on one another, so for now, just focus on the concepts without worrying about implementing them. We'll get started by using the 10-day challenge later in this book. I shared previously how your priorities are areas of your life that are important and meaningful to you. Priorities usually include projects you're focusing on at work or home, activities you want to do, or relationships you want to nurture. You achieve your priorities by completing actionable tasks associated with them. In Getting Things Done, author David Allen shares how important it is for our tasks to be actionable. Actionable tasks are things we can do that will move us closer to achieving our priorities. Using actionable tasks to build your fluid layer helps your day flow smoothly from one activity to the next. For example, here are priorities and actionable tasks that could be associated with them. Your priority may be to spend more time with your wife. The actionable task associated with it could be to make a reservation at your favorite restaurant for a date. Or your priority may be to grow the revenue of your business. The actionable task could be to text or call 10 prospective customers. Maybe your priority is to stay in touch with your parents. The actionable task may be to call mom and dad. Creating your fluid layer includes 3 steps. 1, determine what your priorities are for the day. 2, identify the actionable tasks associated with accomplishing those priorities. And 3, block the time on your calendar to do your actionable tasks. To build your fluid layer, you start by identifying your top 3 priorities for the day. Here are 11 guiding questions to help you identify your priorities. 1, if I could only achieve one thing today, what would that be? 2, what's the second most important thing I need to accomplish? 3, what's the third most important? 4, what else needs to be done? 5, what could I complete today that would make me happy when reflecting on my day? 6, what can I do that will move me closer to achieving my goals? 7, are there projects or tasks that others own but I should follow up on? 8, what key relationships in my life need my energy today? 9, what can I do to remove stress from my life? 10, what tasks can I delegate to someone else today? And 11, is there a task I'm avoiding that I should complete today? After determining your priorities, you'll identify the actionable task or task associated with each one and assign a time on your calendar for completing it. A few important things to keep in mind when creating your fluid layer. 1, tasks take longer than we estimate, so you'll want to block plenty of time to complete each task. I often find tasks take me twice as long as I expect. Psychologists call this phenomenon the planning fallacy, and it explains how people tend to significantly underestimate how much time is required for them to complete a task. Number 2, build in open time blocks for unexpected tasks to arise throughout the day. 3, most people tend to overestimate the number of tasks they can achieve in a single day. Don't get discouraged. Planning your day is a skill, and you will continue to improve with practice and over time. 4, align your daily priorities with your broader career, business, and life goals whenever possible. This ensures your daily actions are moving you closer to your goals. 5, the top priority for the day will not always be the first task you schedule. For example, your top priority may be attending a one-on-one meeting with your boss at 4 p.m., but since it's late in the day, it may be one of the last things you actually do. Number 6, always start with blocking time for your top 3 priorities. After adding these, add any additional priorities you want. I asked one of my clients, Eli Chastain, how prioritizing has helped him. He shared with me this. At this point, I can't imagine a morning without time to prioritize and plan what I intend to make of my day. This simple act every morning before kids, before fitness, before emails, and before work has helped me find meaning in the simplest acts. Finishing a huge project has the same accomplished feeling for me as taking my daughter to a movie, all because I decided that morning that each experience was important and worthy of my attention. This brings richness and meaning to everything I do. Big and small, it all matters. I love that. Let's explore 3 fluid layer examples. Each is from a client I collaborated with. The examples first show their top 3 priorities for the day, then the actionable tasks associated with those priorities, and last, the blocked time on their calendar. The examples use Google Calendar, which is free with any Gmail account. However, you can use any electronic calendar or pen and paper for creating your fluid layer. It doesn't matter. What matters is being intentional and being focused and having clarity around what you're wanting to do with your time and energy. Fluid layer example number 1, corporate professional. This example is from a marketing director who works from home for a Fortune 500 company. Her top 3 priorities for the day are 1, finish creating copy for a product launch, 2, attend a product marketing meeting, and 3, attend a one-on-one meeting with Michelle. To accomplish her top 3 priorities, she blocks time from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. to finish writing copy for the product launch. From 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., she blocks time to attend the product marketing meeting. And from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., she blocks time for her one-on-one meeting with Michelle. You can view her schedule in image number 2. Remember, you can go to matt-east.com/book to see these examples. And this example again is image number 2. In addition to her top 3 priorities, she also wants to run, eat a quick lunch, respond to emails throughout the day, prep for her one-on-one meeting with Michelle, and keep time blocks open for unexpected tasks and items that arise during the day. To schedule time for each of these, she blocks the following time: email from 9:30 to 10 a.m., run and shower from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m., lunch from 1:30 to 2 p.m., respond to email from 2 to 2:30 p.m., and prep for her one-on-one with Michelle at 3 p.m., and respond to more email from 4:30 to 5 p.m. She also left 4 30-minute blocks open for unexpected tasks and to use for last-minute requests or meetings. I love this example because she does a great job of proactively blocking time to process her email and for unexpected items to arise during the day. You can view her schedule in image number 3. Fluid layer, example number 2, CEO. Below are the top 3 priorities for a CEO of a 60-person tech company. Number 1, meet one-on-one with the director of operations. 2, prepare for a meeting with a potential investor. 3, coach her daughter's soccer practice. To accomplish her top 3 priorities, she blocks from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. to prep for the investor meeting. From 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., she blocks time to meet with the director of operations. And from 4:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m., she blocks time to travel to and coach soccer practice. Notice she has multiple time blocks for a single priority, prep for the investor meeting. You can view her schedule in image number 4. Also, she wants to check and send email, keep plenty of time open for unexpected tasks and items, review company financials, review the sales funnel, and eat a quick lunch. To accomplish these priorities, she blocks time for email from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., lunch from 11:30 a.m. to 12 noon, from noon to 12:30 to review company financials, and from 12:30 to 1 to review the sales funnel. She also left 4 30-minute blocks for unexpected tasks and to use for last-minute requests or meetings. I share this example because I love how she prioritizes leaving work at 4:30 so she can go coach her daughter's soccer team. You can review her schedule in image number 5. Fluid layer example number 3, author. Below is an example of an author. Her top 3 priorities are write 1,000 words, play tennis, and take a long walk. To schedule time for her top 3 priorities, she blocked time to write from 5 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., play tennis from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and walk from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can view her schedule in image number 6. Also, she wants to have a large block of free time, eat lunch at a cafe, and review her writing for an hour in the evening. To accomplish each of these, she blocks time for lunch from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., left 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. open for free time, and she blocks an hour in the evening to review her writing starting at 5:30. I chose this example because I love how this client built large blocks of free time and multiple exercise sessions into her day. You can view her schedule in image number 7. In the 3 examples, note how each person, 1, determined what their top priorities were for the day, 2, identified the actionable tasks associated with accomplishing those priorities, and 3, blocked the time on their calendar to do the actionable tasks. Sometimes clients feel creating a fluid layer isn't possible for them or it won't help in their specific situation. Let's address a few common concerns. Objection number 1. It takes too much time and effort to plan my day. This is a misconception. It takes about 7 minutes on average for my clients. Consider the reward of approaching your day with a clear plan versus winging it. Planning your day is the most important thing you can do to ensure your success, and it takes less than 7 minutes. Each morning, I ask my clients to send me their top priorities for the day. I send back some encouragement and often ask how the previous day's priorities went. It's an excellent system for accountability. The possibilities of what my clients prioritize are endless. Here are some really recent examples I've received. Turn off my phone for 30 minutes of uninterrupted play with my kids. Take a meandering 2-hour walk with my wife. Meditate for 5 minutes. Start writing the book I've been thinking about for the past 10 years. Learn to speak Spanish. Read a good book while sipping on wine. Attend yoga class. Fly to India from New York. Consider what you could be prioritizing during your day. Prioritizing your time is impactful because it allows you to be intentional and proactive about what you want to do with your energy. It's a missed opportunity if you're not planning your day because you think it takes too long. It's one way to ensure you're spending time on the activities you want to be doing. The truth is, planning your day requires a minimal investment of time. Objection number 2. My work is repetitive and doesn't require prioritizing my tasks. People who have little flexibility or input about how they spend their time at work often believe prioritizing their time isn't necessary. Many positions within retail and logistics fall into this category since the workflow is primarily dictated by reacting to customer needs or reoccurring tasks. However, remember, setting your priorities is about planning to do things that are important and meaningful to you. Even if your work is repetitive, you still have things that you want to accomplish and maintain while at work. For example, you could focus on your health by prioritizing drinking plenty of water or eating a healthy lunch. You could prioritize your work performance. That's the beauty of prioritizing. What you choose to focus on is up to you. If you've never prioritized your time, establishing your priorities for the first time will be very empowering because it encourages you to consider what's most important to you. If you work 8 hours a day and sleep 8 hours a day, you still have 8 hours to prioritize outside of work. That's a massive amount of time. Sometimes when I mention this, people argue that after commuting to work, they have far less than 8 hours available. So let's cut that 8 hours in half. If you work 12 hours a day and sleep for 8 hours, you still have 4 hours. That's a significant chunk of time. Think about this. Even if you work and your commute take 14 hours and you sleep for 8 hours, you still have 2 hours to plan and prioritize and to think about. If you're in this situation, isn't it crucial to be hyper-focused about how you're spending your time during those 2 hours? The truth is, planning your day is critical for your success, regardless of the type of work you do. Objection number 3, my schedule varies too much from day to day. A varying schedule is not a reason to skip planning your day. If you don't plan, it's tempting to get distracted by non-important items, which quickly leads to unfocused work and using your time ineffectively. Not prioritizing increases the chance of getting sidetracked by unmeaningful things, and that can lead to procrastination. The truth is, if your schedule varies day to day, you must plan your time if you want to be as effective as possible. By successfully planning, you approach each day with clarity, purpose, and focus. Objection number 4. I have too many urgent tasks I need to respond to throughout the day, so I can't plan my time. All of us need to adapt to requests and demands throughout the day. Nobody wants to tell their boss they can't get that urgent fix out today because it's not on their calendar. If it's common for you to respond to urgent items throughout the day, build in plenty of time for responding to those requests. You can always reprioritize your time and calendar to focus on these urgent tasks as they arise throughout the day. However, if you tend to have many dramatic events during a typical workday, try to develop new processes to minimize the number of these events from disrupting your workflow. Responding to urgent tasks can lead to feeling anxious and stressed out. Beginning your day with a plan is the best way to bring focus and clarity to your work, and that's the easiest way to combat feeling overwhelmed. The truth is, prioritizing your time will help you be more organized and focused, ultimately increasing your responsiveness and decreasing your stress level. Objection number 5, I'm not good at estimating how long tasks take. Most people tend to underestimate how much time is required to complete a task. That's completely normal. Don't worry about it. People tend to be optimistic about how much they can achieve in a specific time frame. Remember, this is so common. Psychologists have a name for it, the planning fallacy. It can be disheartening, frustrating, and stressful when tasks take too long. We can combat this by understanding it's common and blocking more time for our tasks. The truth is, everyone feels this way, and it should not stop you from planning your day. You will learn to more accurately forecast and estimate how long tasks take as you continue to prioritize your day. Objection number 6. I'm worried I'll lose sight of my long-term goals by focusing so much on my plan for my day. Your fluid layer should act as a lever for achieving your long-term goals. Your priorities should support and align with your long-term goals whenever possible. A personal example would be creating this book. One of my goals has been to write a book. Instead of hoping that happened, I prioritized time to write each day. If I hadn't prioritized time to write, I would have never achieved my goal. The truth is, prioritizing your time each day will help you achieve your long-term goals faster. Objection number 7. I'm concerned prioritizing will reduce my creativity. Planning supports your creative endeavors by giving you consistency and structure to create your art. It's a misconception artistic disciplines don't require planning. The truth is, the most prolific creators understand how to use habits, routines, and planning to increase their creative output. Chapter recap. The fluid layer helps us plan and schedule a time for our most important priorities and tasks each day. The purpose of the fluid layer is to ensure we're intentional with our time and energy. You can prioritize anything important and meaningful to you. Priorities often include projects you're focusing on at work or home, activities you want to do, or relationships you want to nurture. And sometimes priorities are just things that must get done, like paying bills. These types of items aren't always fun, but they are important. You achieve your priorities by completing actionable tasks associated with them. You'll learn how to create your fluid layer during the 10-day challenge. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to create your habit layer. Chapter 5, the habit layer. A day dawns quite like other days. In it, a single hour comes quite like other hours. But in that day and in that hour, the chance of a lifetime faces us. Maltby Davenport Babcock. The habit layer is the second and final layer we'll use to plan our day. It uses your habits and routines to ensure each morning and evening is proactively structured to be as productive and meaningful as possible. Unlike the fluid layer, which changes daily, the habit layer remains consistent from week to week, while the fluid layer ensures you intentionally prioritize what's most important to you. The habit layer ensures you plan your mornings and evenings successfully. According to Duke University research, habits account for approximately 40% of our daily behaviors. The habit layer encourages you to be intentional and proactive with this significant portion of your day. Remember, we'll use the 10-day challenge to create your habit layer. So for now, focus on absorbing the ideas and concepts of this chapter without worrying about implementing any of them. In addition to ensuring you're intentional with how you spend your morning and evenings, the habit layer will assist you in creating the habits you want. One benefit of this layer is that it reduces the number of decisions you're required to make during the day, which reduces the chance you'll be negatively affected by decision fatigue. Decision fatigue occurs when we have too many options to choose from. Abundant options often lead to feeling overwhelmed, procrastination, and a decline in our decision-making ability. By determining what to focus on, we increase the chance to do what we desire. Here's a personal example of how it works. I use my habit layer to go to the gym every morning. By making this decision when initially creating my habit layer, I never have to spend energy thinking about it again. This allows me to avoid contemplating what I should do each morning. Going to the gym each morning has become a habit. I wake up, make coffee, feed the dogs, grab my gym bag, and head out. One reason I've been able to maintain this habit is that I love ending my workout with a relaxing sauna session. This visit to the sauna acts as a reward to encourage my daily habit loop. Charles Duhigg shares how habit loops work in his book, The Power of Habit. The habit loop is a neurological loop that governs any habit. The loop consists of 3 elements: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Understanding these elements can help to change bad behaviors or form better ones. The cue for a habit can be anything that triggers the habit. Cues generally fall under the following categories: a location, a time of day, other people, an emotional state, or any immediately preceding action. A habit's routine is the most obvious element. It's the behavior you wish to change or reinforce, such as going to the gym. The reward is the reason the brain decides the previous steps are worth remembering for the future. The reward provides positive reinforcement for the desired behavior, making it more likely you will produce the behavior again in the future. The reward can be anything from something tangible like chocolate or something intangible like a sauna session. In addition, creating your habit layer helps create awareness of your daily habits and rituals, reduces procrastination by creating clarity about how you want to spend your time, ensures you're proactive about your morning and evening routines, helps you pursue your passions by proactively blocking time for the activities you want to do. It enriches your relationships by planning time for nurturing them, and it enables you to enjoy your leisure time more. Clients regularly use the habit layer for the following activities: running, walking, resistance training, drinking coffee or tea, practicing yoga, going to the gym, building a daily writing practice, meditating, planning and reflecting on the day, journaling, working on a side business, cooking breakfast or dinner, spending time with family and friends, going on date nights, reading. The options are endless. You can use your habit layer for any habit you want to reinforce or develop. In addition to his morning tennis game, Richard Branson includes other exercises, breakfast, and family time during his morning routine. He says, I wake up early around 5 a.m., I get out of bed and do some exercise, play a game of tennis, go for a walk or run, jump on my bike. If there's enough wind, go for a kite surf. Then I eat breakfast and spend time with my family. Exercise and family time put me in a great frame of mind before getting down to business. Habit expert and author James Clear shares the following tips to creating daily habits. 1. Start with an incredibly small habit. 2. Increase your habit in very small ways. 3. Break your big habits into small chunks. 4. When you slip, get back on track quickly. 5. Be patient. Stick to a pace you can sustain. Below are some habit layer examples. We'll revisit each of the examples from the fluid layer to see how they handle their habit layer. Habit layer example number 1, the corporate professional. In the first habit layer example, we'll revisit the marketing director who works from home for a Fortune 500 company. Each weekday morning, she wants to do yoga, meditate, plan her day, and shower. On the weekends, she wants to sleep in until 9 a.m. In the evenings, she wants to spend 2 evenings each week with friends for dinner and the other 3 relaxing, preparing dinner and reading. She wants to prepare for bed at 10 p.m. and be in bed by 10:30 p.m. You can see how she blocked time for these in image number 8. In image number 9, you can view an example of a single day of her habit layer. You'll see from 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m., it's blocked for yoga. 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m., it's blocked to meditate and plan the day. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. is blocked to shower and get ready. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is blocked for dinner, reading, and relaxing. At 10 p.m., she begins to prep for bed. 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. is blocked for sleep. In image 10, you can see the final plan for her day with the habit layer in green and the fluid layer in blue. This final schedule is 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. yoga, 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. meditate and plan day, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. shower and get ready, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. finish writing copy for product launch, 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. email, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is open, 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the product marketing meeting, 11:30 a.m. to 12 noon is open, 12 noon to 1:30 is run and shower, 1:30 to 2 is eat lunch, 2 p.m. to 2:30 is email, 2:30 to 3 is open, 3 p.m. to 3:30 is prep for 101, 3:30 p.m. to 4 is meet for 101 with Michelle, 4 p.m. to 4:30 is open, 4:30 to 5 is email, 5 p.m. to 6 is open, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is read, dinner, and relax. 10 p.m. is prep for bed, and 10:30 p.m. is sleep. And you can see that in image number 10. Common questions about the corporate professional schedule. Tuesday and Thursday are blocked to eat dinner with friends. What if a friend wants to meet on a different day, like Wednesday? Okay, that's no problem. If she wants to meet her friend, she can change one of her evenings out this week to be Wednesday, if that's when her friend wants to meet. Or she could go out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with friends. Making that adjustment is no problem. This isn't called the no fun planning method. The goal here is to be intentional and clear about how you're spending your time. but do it thoughtfully if you're making those changes. And I would encourage you to update the changes within your calendar. Don't just do it haphazardly. Be intentional about it. What we're going for is intentionality and clarity. I follow my habit block almost 100% of the time, since scheduling conflicts early in the morning are very infrequent. But my evening habit block typically requires an adjustment once or twice a week because of dinner, work, or social events with friends and family. It's no big deal. Simply make the adjustment on your calendar and you're all set. You're still acting intentionally and purposefully with how you're spending your time, which is the primary goal. Next question is, should my habit layer remain the same each day? I notice this example isn't the same each day. It's totally up to you. It could be the same for all 7 days, or you can make some changes. It's your habit layer. I want you to be intentional all 7 days of the week, but some habits like helping the kids get ready for school are only 5 days a week. Some people like to have a consistent habit layer for weekdays and different habits on the weekends. For instance, many of my clients want to use one or both weekend mornings to sleep in a little longer because they wake up so early during the week. Many people like to keep their habit layer consistent for all 7 days of the week. The goal is for you to be intentional and to build a habit layer that works well for you. Habit layer example number 2, the CEO. The CEO wants to use her habit layer to prepare breakfast and spend time with her daughter before she leaves for school. She also wants to have coffee with her husband after her daughter gets on the bus. In the evenings, she wants to walk for at least an hour and then relax with her family as her husband cooks dinner. On the weekends, she wants to walk for an hour before her husband and daughter wake up. To do this, she blocks each weekday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. to make breakfast and drink coffee. She then blocks 7:30 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. to shower and get ready. On the weekends, she blocks 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. to walk. In the evenings, during the week, she blocks 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 to walk. And she has 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. blocked for dinner and relaxing. You can see how she blocks time for all of this in image number 11. In image 12, you can see a single day of her habit layer. I included this because it's easier to view the details of her schedule in this image. Her final schedule with her habit layer in green and her fluid layer in blue, you can see in image number 13. From 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., she blocks time to make breakfast and drink coffee with her husband. From 7:30 a.m. to 8:15 a.m., she showers and gets ready. 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. is blocked for email, followed by an open 30-minute block of time. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. is blocked to prep for the investor meeting, followed by another 30-minute open block. At 11:30 a.m., she eats for 30 minutes. From noon to 12:30, she reviews the company financials, then reviews the sales funnel from 12:30 to 1. From 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., she blocks more time to prepare for the investor meeting. She then has 30 minutes open for responding to unexpected items. From 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., she meets with the director of operations, followed by another open block. She rechecks email from 4 to 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. is blocked for traveling and coaching her daughter's soccer practice. She has another open block, followed by her walk from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And her final block is from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for dinner and relaxing. You can view her schedule again in image number 13. Common questions about the CEO's habit layer. Dinner is planned each weeknight from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. What if other dinner plans arise, such as meals with clients or with friends? That's going to happen. It's no big deal. No doubt about it. It's going to happen. When plans like that arise and she wants or needs to attend, it's important to add the new plans to her calendar. And just remember, the goal here is to be intentional and to be clear. And if that's a priority that she wants to focus on, then she can do that. It's no problem. It's totally up to her. How does the habit layer change if the CEO needs to travel for work? It's likely to change significantly just from a practical standpoint, and that's no problem. I would encourage her to be deliberate by planning and prioritizing her time during her trip, but maintaining her exact habit layer isn't going to happen. I would encourage her to maintain parts of her schedule if possible. For example, if it's still possible to walk for an hour, that would be fantastic. She should keep that in her schedule when traveling. I would definitely encourage that. Habit layer example number 3, author. Let's build the habit layer for the author. She wants to wake up at 4:45 a.m., make coffee, and begin writing at 5:15 a.m. each morning. She hopes to follow the same morning and evening routine 7 days a week. In the evening, she wants to cook, have a glass of wine, and always be in bed by 9 p.m. To do this within her habit layer, she blocks time to wake up and drink coffee at 4:45 a.m. every morning. Each evening, she blocks time from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. for cooking dinner, having a glass of wine, and relaxing. And she blocks time at 8:30 p.m. to prep for her 9 p.m. bedtime. You can view her schedule in image number 14. And you can view a single day of her schedule in image number 15. That's a little easier to see. The final plan for the author's day with the habit layer in green and the fluid layer in blue is in image number 16. You'll see from 4:45 a.m. it's blocked for waking up and drinking coffee. She then blocks time from 5:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. for writing. Next is an open block, followed by tennis from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. is blocked for lunch. 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. is wide open. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. is blocked for walking, followed by another hour of open time before she reviews her writing from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. At 6:30 p.m., she begins cooking, has a glass of wine, and at 8:30 p.m. she begins to prep for bed. You can view her schedule again in image number 16. Common questions about the author's habit layer. There's only one. Is the large gap of free time a concern? No, not at all. One of the goals for the author was to have a large block of free time. It's something that she wanted. Remember, the goal is to be intentional with how you spend your time. It's not to be as busy as possible. I loved working with this client. She was very intentional and she knew exactly what she wanted, and she wanted that free time. So let's build it into her day and make sure that she has that. A tip for building your habit layer. If you're using an electronic calendar such as Google Calendar, you can easily set the time blocks for your habit layer to be recurring, so it's not necessary to rebuild your habit layer each day or each week. For example, if you want to build the habit of writing at 6:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, you just have to make that calendar event one time and set it as to repeat on the days that you select. It's no problem. It's not hard to do at all. You can easily find instructions to do that by Googling. Chapter recap. Your habit layer ensures you structure your mornings and evenings to be productive and meaningful. Unlike the fluid layer, which changes daily, the habit layer remains relatively consistent week to week. The habit layer is your opportunity to proactively determine how you want to spend your mornings and evenings. You will create your habit layer in the next chapter. Chapter 6. The 10-Day Purposeful Planning Challenge. Keep in mind that besides the 8 hours of work, each day also has 8 hours for fooling around, and then there's also Sunday. That's a quote from Albert Einstein. So far, you've learned how the Purposeful Planning Method will help you plan and take action on your most important priorities each day. You know how it can help you live a more meaningful life by prioritizing time for your most important activities and relationships. To start using the Purposeful Planning Method successfully, I've created a 10-day challenge. To sign up for a daily email guiding you through the 10-day challenge, visit matt-east.com/challenge. The challenge creates momentum by helping you build progress for 10 consecutive days. We start by identifying our top 3 priorities for the day. By the end of the challenge, you will be using the Purposeful Planning Method for planning your day. If you continue using this method after the challenge, no dream, no goal, no pursuit is out of your grasp. Doing this morning ritual of planning will transform your life. It should only take about 7 minutes per day. My clients often refer to this morning ritual as doing their layers. It includes the following. 1, creating your fluid layer for the day. This will take about 5 minutes. 2, reviewing your habit layer. This should only take about 2 minutes once you build your habit layer. I see clients successfully transform their life by using this method every single day, and you can do the same. Use it to regain control of your time, take more action towards your goals, pursue your passions, and enrich your relationships. Before sharing the 10-day challenge, I have a secret I want to share with you, and this is probably the most important thing in the book. Many people wait to make changes in their life because they don't feel motivated enough to start, so they plan to begin once they are motivated. Here's the secret. The most successful people in the world understand motivation follows action, not the other way around. There is a common misconception that it's necessary to feel motivated before taking your first action. Be aware of this mindset. It's a dream killer. Waiting for motivation before you act is a recipe for never starting. The secret can be a cruel life lesson if you never learn it. Think about how many people say they want to pursue one of their dreams, write a book, start a business, or find a new job, but they will start when they feel motivated. Unfortunately, most people will never pursue their goals because the motivation won't come until they actually take some action. It's critical not to wait until you feel motivated to begin this challenge. Trust that your motivation will follow once you start. Tips to keep in mind during the challenge. Completing tasks take much more time than expected. Give yourself plenty of time to complete the tasks associated with your priorities. Build in plenty of open time throughout your day so you can easily handle unexpected tasks and meetings as they arise. Enjoy the planning process. You're planning how you get to spend your time, how you're spending your life. Use your top 3 priorities for as many purposeful and meaningful activities as possible. Also, if something goes wrong with your planning during the challenge, don't worry about it. Ask yourself what you can learn from it, apply the lesson, and move on. It's no big deal. Okay, here we go. The 10-day Purposeful Planning Challenge, days 1 through 3. The first 3 days of the challenge focus on beginning to develop your fluid layer only. Each day, you'll identify your top 3 priorities. Schedule time on your calendar by identifying the actionable tasks associated with each one and complete the task. Remember, sign up for the challenge to be emailed to you daily for free at my website, matt-east.com/challenge. Also, remember, priorities are areas of your life that are important and meaningful to you. Priorities are typically projects you're focusing on at work or home, activities you want to do, or relationships you want to nurture. You achieve your priorities by completing actionable tasks associated with them. So for the challenge, 1, first, determine your top 3 priorities for the day. 2, identify the actionable tasks associated with your priorities. And 3, block the time on your calendar to do your actionable tasks. You can use these 11 guiding questions to help identify your priorities. Number 1, if I could only achieve one thing today, what would it be? 2, what's the second most important thing I need to accomplish? 3, what's the third most important? 4, what else needs to be done? 5, what could I complete today that would make me happy when reflecting on my day? 6, what can I do that will move me closer to achieving my goals? 7, are there projects or tasks that others own but I should follow up on? 8, what key relationships in my life need my energy today? 9, what can I do to remove stress from my life? 10, what task can I delegate to someone else today? 11, is there a task I'm avoiding that I should complete today? Remember, throughout this process, reflect on what you're learning and make sure you're giving yourself enough time to complete your task. So build in plenty of time when you're blocking your time. And also remember to build in plenty of time, open blocks for unexpected items and tasks and things throughout the day to arise. That's the first 3 days of the challenge. All right, for day 4 and day 5 of the challenge, here's your challenge. Complete your entire fluid layer using these 6 steps. So 1, determine your top 3 priorities for today. 2, identify the actionable task associated with your priorities. 3, block time on your calendar to do those actionable tasks. Then 4, determine if there's any other priorities for the day. Are there other things outside of your top 3 that you want to focus on? If so, identify the actionable tasks associated with those priorities. And 6, block the time on your calendar to do these actionable tasks. This is the full-on fluid layer. You're in it. If you're doing this, man, you're in it. You're halfway home. If you can do this, you are going to be more productive than 99% of the people you know. I guarantee it. All right, for day 6 of the challenge, today you're going to begin to build your morning habit layer in addition to completing your fluid layer. So you're still going to do your fluid layer, but we're going to start creating that habit layer. First, think back. How did day 5 of your challenge go? What did you learn? Are you giving yourself enough time to complete your tasks? Are you building in enough time between tasks for responding to unexpected items? Here's the challenge for today. Complete your fluid layer just like you did yesterday. And today, also begin creating your habit layer. And to do that, we're going to add 1 item to your morning habit layer. Remember, common habit layer activities include running, walking, practicing yoga, going to the gym, building a daily writing practice, meditating, planning and reflecting on your day, journaling, cooking breakfast or dinner, spending time with family members, reading, listening to podcasts. But you can choose whatever you want. This is about being clear and intentional with how you want to spend your morning. So start thinking through what's one habit you want to build into your morning, and that's the beginning of your morning habit layer. Day 7 of the challenge. Today we will begin to build your evening habit layer in addition to your fluid layer, which you've been working on all along, and your morning habit layer, which you started yesterday. First, how did day 6 of the challenge go? What are you learning? Are you giving yourself enough time to complete your tasks? Are you building in enough time between tasks for responding to unexpected items? The challenge for today, complete your fluid layer just like you did yesterday and continue creating your habit layer. Add 1 item to your evening habit layer. Remember, this is something you should want to do consistently throughout the week. All right, guys, days 8, 9, and 10 of the challenge. This is just full on using the purposeful planning method with nothing being held back. So today we will review and continue to build your morning and evening habit layers, and we'll also continue to build your fluid layer like you've been doing. Remember, each day we want to review how the previous day went. What did you learn? Are you giving yourself enough time to complete your tasks? Are you building in enough time between tasks for responding to unexpected items? All right, here's the challenge for the final 3 days, day 8, 9, and 10. You will complete your fluid layer each day. You should be getting really good at this, and this should be taking about 5 minutes. And also, you want to do your habit layer review. And this should only take a couple minutes, and it's using these 2 questions. Are there any small adjustments or tweaks you need to make to your habit layer? And also, are there any habits you want to add or delete to your habit layer? If you get through this challenge and you continue using the purposeful planning method each day, you are on your way to becoming one of the most productive people in the world. But most importantly, you are someone who approaches their day with purpose and clarity. You can achieve anything you choose if you're using this method. If you completed the challenge, please email me at matt@matt-east.com. I would love to hear about how you're successfully using this method to create success in your life. Chapter review. The 10-day Purposeful Planning Challenge creates momentum by helping you build progress for 10 consecutive days. After completing the challenge, use the following framework to continue using this method each day. Start each morning by reviewing what you learned from the previous day. Are you giving yourself enough time to complete your tasks? Are you building in enough time between tasks for responding to unexpected items? Then you will build your fluid layer by 1, determining your top 3 priorities for the day, 2, identify the actionable tasks associated with those priorities, 3, block the time on your calendar to do your actionable tasks, 4, determine any other priorities for the day. Is there anything outside of your top 3 that you also want to prioritize? 5, if so, identify the actionable tasks associated with those priorities and block time on your calendar to do those actionable tasks. Also, do your habit layer review. Use these 2 questions to help you with that review. Are there any small adjustments or tweaks you need to make to your habit layer? And are there any habits you want to add or delete? Chapter 7, Common Questions. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. Marianne Radmacher. Question, can I plan my day the evening before instead of in the morning? Yes, you can. However, I highly recommend the morning because the rate of success is significantly higher over the course of time with my clients. Trying to plan your day as part of your evening routine doesn't work as well for a couple reasons. Most notably, you're tired at the end of the day, which means you frequently end up not planning at all or you plan ineffectively. Also, evenings tend to fill up with activities, so it's more challenging to find a sacred 5 to 10 minute window for planning in the evenings like you can in the mornings. I have worked with a few clients who used the last few minutes of their day at the office to plan for the next day, but clients who do their planning as an early morning practice have a significantly higher rate of success than anyone else. Question, is it expensive to use this method? No. Like I said, outside the cost of this book, it costs nothing to use. Question, do I have to schedule my time on an electronic calendar? No. Use whatever type of calendar you want. I have clients who successfully use electronic calendars. That's what I do. And I have clients who successfully use pen and paper. The key here is to be intentional, to have clarity, and to move through your day with purpose. Whether or not you plan it on paper or electronically doesn't matter to me. Question, the first few days of the 10-day challenge seem too easy. Can I skip ahead? I strongly recommend against it. It's crucial to build momentum with some quick, easy wins, and the first few days of the challenge help you do that. Scheduling time for your top 3 priorities, which is the first few days of the challenge, is a tremendous skill to build, and it's often more challenging than people expect. So no, I wouldn't try to make any adjustments to the 10-day challenge. Question, scheduling leisure time feels weird. Are you sure I should schedule it? Yes, I'm 100% sure. Please keep doing it. It'll feel normal soon. It should help you feel more present during your leisure activities. You'll also find your leisure time to be less guilt-ridden. I've worked with clients who found scheduling their leisure time to be a complete game changer. One high-level executive began planning time every evening for reading on her back porch with a glass of wine. She told me that she had wanted to do that since buying her home nearly 20 years ago, but had only done it a few times. However, after adding it to her habit layer a year ago, she hasn't missed a day unless she was out of town. By adding it to her calendar 7 days a week, she feels like it gives her permission to relax and enjoy the moment. Question, I use Getting Things Done by David Allen. Can I also use the Purposeful Planning Method? Yes, for sure. Getting Things Done is a workflow management system, not a method for planning your day like the Purposeful Planning Method. I use aspects of GTD every day. I recently interviewed David Allen on one of my podcasts and was able to share with him how his advice about using your brain for thinking rather than remembering things has been life-changing for me. I make sure to get everything out of my head and down on paper or in Evernote, as he suggests. The single practice of not trying to retain information in my brain has been critical for me because I want to use my brain for thinking, not for trying to remember things. So you can definitely use both Getting Things Done and the Purposeful Planning Method. No problem at all. Question, some of my priorities have a ton of actionable tasks associated with them. How should I handle that? It's most effective to use actionable tasks on your calendar whenever possible, like I've shared. However, I understand that's not always practical. An example of this for me is producing a podcast. This requires about 25 very small actionable tasks in a 30-minute time block. In this instance, I block my calendar for 30 minutes to produce a podcast, but I reference the actionable task on a saved note online. To reduce procrastination, it's critical to be clear on the next actionable tasks, and referencing them helps. So if you don't have your actionable task referenced in your calendar, make sure to have it someplace else. Question: I procrastinate. How will the purposeful planning method help me? First, it's important to forgive yourself for procrastinating in the past. I realize this advice sounds strange, but research from top psychologists indicate procrastinating is not a time management issue. It's typically a response driven by negative emotions or fear. Research suggests forgiving oneself for procrastinating on a given task is related to less procrastination on a similar task in the future, and that self-forgiveness reduces procrastination by reducing negative emotions. If you struggled with procrastinating and that's led you to be frustrated or disappointed with your progress, those feelings are normal. You can't go back in time and change that now, but you can start fresh today, and that's going to be essential as you begin adopting this method. Take a few minutes to reflect on your past struggles with procrastination, then forgive yourself. Let's leave the past in the past and move forward with a clean slate. It's time to start fresh, and having clarity about what and when you are going to take action on something will help end procrastination. This should help you a ton. Question: should I prioritize my time on the weekend? Absolutely. Priorities are areas of your life that are important and meaningful to you, and hopefully your weekends are full of activities you find important and meaningful. Just like during the week, prioritizing on the weekend will help you focus on the projects, activities, and relationships that are most important and meaningful to you. Question: I'm a working mom with 4 kids. My mornings and evenings are crazy. Can I still use the purposeful planning method? Absolutely. This approach to planning is perfect for you. Busy working moms use it all the time. Ton of moms have used this very successfully. Stay-at-home moms and dads. It will work for anyone who adopts it. Question: I missed a day of the challenge. What should I do? No problem. Pick back up on the day that you didn't complete. Keep your head up. Dig back in. You can do it. Full steam ahead. Question: what if an emergency occurs during my day? A true unexpected emergency would reprioritize what's most important to you. Give the emergency the proper energy and attention it deserves. And the final question for this chapter: can I hire you to help me get started with the purposeful planning method? Yes. Sometimes I do coach people one-on-one. However, I don't always have open coaching spots available. You can learn more about my coaching and my availability and the cost on my website. It's all right there. It's under pricing, I think, matt-east.com. Chapter 8, Motivation to Begin. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Amelia Earhart. I mentioned during the introduction, I believe you can achieve anything you want. I realize that's a substantial claim. However, there's a reason I made it. As humans, when we believe we can achieve something and our actions map to that belief, we can create any result we choose. This is how the most successful people live. They design a plan for what they want and take relentless action toward their goal. Like everyone, the most successful people face challenges and must overcome obstacles throughout their day. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is they don't let those challenges stop them from accomplishing their ambitions. They make adjustments and persist toward their goal. I can guarantee you'll face challenges too, but if you persist, you'll move closer to your goals each day. You likely read this book to learn how to plan your day, but also to achieve new outcomes in your life. And after reading it, don't shrink your ambitions now. You have a method now for planning and achieving any result you desire. It's time to take massive action. According to the Roman playwright Virgil, fortune sides with him who dares. Are you willing to dare by planning and executing at your highest level each day? Leonardo da Vinci wrote, "I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do." Having knowledge of the purposeful planning method is not enough. To reap the benefits, you must adopt it into your daily routine. Taking action is required. After waking each morning, you must decide if you'll plan your day and execute at the highest level possible, or if you'll drift through it aimlessly. That's a decision you get to make, and it's the first step to achieving anything you want with your life. A final note from Matt. Thank you so much for reading this book. I really appreciate it. I hope you found it helpful and insightful. I can't wait to hear about the success you create in your life using the Purposeful Planning Method. Also, I have a huge favor to ask. If you have a moment to leave an Amazon or an Audible review, it would mean the world to me. Those reviews make it so much easier for new readers to find this book and to find this content. I will read all the reviews, so I really look forward to seeing your feedback. Here's to your success. Thanks again. You can learn more about me and view all the images from this book and sign up for the 10-day challenge for free on my website. That's matt-east.com. So it's MATT, a dash, and then EAST.com. And that's it, guys. Thanks again. That's the end. Acknowledgements. This book is dedicated to anyone who believes in their dreams and has the guts to take action toward achieving them. Thank you to my clients. It's an honor to be a part of your journey, and to my wife, Rachel, who encouraged me to write this book. I'm grateful for you in every way possible and love you so much.